Hey Mooslings, and welcome to another build video. Full disclosure, I actually had so much fun with the apartment build that I decided I would go for townhomes. So exciting, so lovely, but the problem is I also realized with the apartment build that one of the things that kind of stifled me just a little bit was kind of this lack of inspiration, I suppose. Not that I've never seen an apartment building, because I've lived in plenty, but more so I'm a visual person. Okay, I have a lot of visual aids that help me mentally, physically, and emotionally get through a lot of builds in the past, and just kind of looking at other things that might be applicable, or, at least something I can manage is probably going to help me focus in on what I'm working on and not be so bogged down in how do I even begin. So with this one, I actually did go ahead and look up a picture of some basic townhomes that I thought might be, easier to manage. And then what I did is the picture only had 3, so I decided that what I would do is try my hardest to look at these 3 that I have pictured here and really get a good grip on the first 3 houses, making them, constructing them, giving them the look that I was looking for. And then the 4th house, the 4th townhouse, I would just kind of go ham and see if I could put something together that made the most sense to me in a townhouse. So also, similar to the apartment, these are in the same world. It's the new pack world for the For Rent pack. And so it is beachy, and so I picked a picture that was beachy, but as you can see, our Sims aren't going to physically be on the beach. It's just grass. But they'll have like the view of the beach behind and things like that, and I do plan to build them cute little backyards and maybe accommodate a family or 2 in here, and maybe we'll build the family members as well like we did for the apartments. But either way, my goal here was just to get a good solid foundation of what I was looking for and a little more confidence going in and creating these. Now, by no means was this easy, I can say for certain. The roofs got me all messed up, and you'll see that throughout the build. It drove me banana sandwich to get through trying to build these. And also the columns. Oh my gracious, the columns also drive me banana sandwich. Trying to get them directly aligned when they're on the top versus the bottom portion of the foundation, because you'll see in this build, technically the Sims will enter on the 2nd floor, and so that 1st floor is literally just like inaccessible from this side because the stairs would go up to the 1st floor and that little balcony thing. And so the columns had to then attach to the walls below instead of like the fencing below. I don't know why that matters. I don't know why, I genuinely, I'm just at a loss. So I did my best, and hopefully you think it looks good. But anyway, we start with each little house on their own. The first one is going to be that yellow house all the way to the left. We're doing them in order as well. And then, like I said, the 4th one will just kind of be a free for all. And I did end up using the same siding for all of them and just changing the color to accommodate as best as I could. I didn't want them to necessarily be exact copies. I did my best to get the structure down and just the overall view, but like the inside of the home, I obviously can't see, and the back of the home, I obviously cannot see. But since they are townhouses, the other thing I did want to keep in mind is that realistically, they were probably built, if we were thinking about this like a real-time scenario, for example. Realistically, they'd probably have been built by the same builder, same materials, and same overall layout. At least that's the way that it is in the States. So they have a lot of similarities, and you'll see that as we go through the build, but all of the backyards are also identical. So I just want to be very transparent about that. You'll see a lot of similarities in the layout, 1, because of that, but also 2, because they're all basically the same structure, and it's really difficult to deviate from what I assumed was the best layout, because again, stairs drive me crazy. And so I had to accommodate multiple stairs, and in some cases, I had to even provide a staircase or a ladder up to a top, like a fourth floor portion of the home, depending on which one of the three it was. So, anyway, this is our cute little yellow house. All I do in these builds is create the outside section of them, get all the structure portions inside, and then move on to the next home. So I'll let you watch through the yellow house, see what you think, and then I'll just chime in once we get over to the blue house. And that, my friends, ends the outside portion of the yellow house. And now we're moving on to that blue one in the middle. As you can see, it has a little bit of a different shape out front, which ended up causing me so much headache. But we got there in the end. The only thing that I don't like, and you'll see it once we get to the back of the home. So there's a piece of the Sims build here that allows you to put essentially trim around the sections of the home or the tiers of the home. So for example, first, second floor would be kind of have this wraparound molding almost around the entirety of the building, which I think is beautiful and I think it's kind of depicted in the picture. However, we also have stairs that go out the back, and for some reason that gets glitchy Mitch Glisherson on the backside. And if you have stairs or doors that interfere with that, for some reason it does not allow you to continue that trim all the way through the back there. I ended up leaving it because I feel like it looks good with the trim, and I didn't want to take away from how the build looked. And I don't know, as long as you don't put all the walls up and you're on the second floor, you should be fine. If it gives you a pet peeve and you find a workaround, please let me know, because it literally drove me crazy. And even with move objects on, it just doesn't affect the trim around the building like that. So I don't know. The other thing that gave me a headache were these walls, because it looked like they were kind of like this a slanted on the side kind of look, where it's almost like a giant, what do they call those? Like those really massive windows, like bay windows. There it is. But it's like the whole side of the house is a bay window. So that was interesting to construct and figure out, as you can see here. But we did eventually get there, because the other problem is I wanted the stairs in each home to set back at the same length of the home so that none of them were really close to the sidewalk. And to do that, I really had to push these walls back more than I thought that I would in order to get that to work, which it did eventually, and I think it looks good, but just a little bit of finagling there to make that work. So once we get the structure down, again, the roofs, I think I tackled the roof pretty well on the yellow house, so I was feeling a little confident. But I can say for certain that the roofs gave me a little bit of trouble when we went to go put the stairs in on this back portion, because if you throw the roof all the way through, even though you can't see the roof through the building, which I think is so dumb. Like, if you can't see the roof through the little structure there, like, it shouldn't matter. But basically what was happening is I would do this where I'd pull the roof all the way to the back, but then when I went to go put stairs inside this little portion, it said it couldn't intersect with roofs. And I'm like, you're literally not intersecting with a roof. You're just trying to go to another room that a roof goes through. I don't know. It's like a weird technical thing for The Sims. I don't know if anybody else has encountered this before. It made me bonkers, but that's okay. It was fine. It worked out in the end. And then this is where I put that little trim around too. You'll see where it sticks out a little bit right there with the white part. I end up covering that with the trim that goes all the way around. But anyway, we figure out the stairs. I have to finagle the roof, and I end up making that back portion extend all the way to the edge of the home in the back. That way the roof can stop right there at the front, and I have the ability to put freaking stairs in it. I swear, these little Sims things drive me bananas. But that's okay. It ended up looking good. It ended up giving me the feel that I was looking for, and definitely from the inspiration on the photo. So I'll let you guys watch this, and then similar to the yellow house, once we merge over to the orange house, I'll check back in. And we're back. So yes, blue house, super cute, super lovely. What you're seeing here is actually day 2 of this build. I actually had to go to bed. I spent 2 hours working on those other 2 houses the night before, and then woke up and proceeded to put these together. So anyway, we start with the orange house on this day, and again, a different vibe for the front. So on this one, we have the 2 main balconies and then that super simple roof, and there is no upper structure like the first 2 houses. So I didn't have to worry about putting stairs on the tippity top floor, but again, similar to how it worked last time, they're just pretty similar in how they look. So most of the stair structure is the same moving forward. I just didn't have to put anything else on the top. I just needed one set, which was super nice. And then this is my attempt at making it look like the picture. Looking back on this, I don't think I used the right roof. I probably should have used the one that just has all 4 sides the same, and it probably would have given me the same effect, but here we are. It's okay. I got it to look marginally like it should. I really liked this one too, except again, when I get to the stairs, you'll see that I end up having to push those walls back just a little bit in order to accommodate the stairs and make sure that they're all the same level. And then on the 4th house, that's where it gets really tricky because I end up wanting to do this like double stair, like beautiful, like walk up kind of situation where it's very grand looking. Not that the other ones aren't grand looking, but none of them have 2 staircases. So anyway, I do end up going around and fixing that, and you'll see that. I also did end up, I don't know if it was during the blue build or during the yellow build at the end, but I end up putting the back fences, which was dumb. I should have just waited because you'll see why at the end. But also, I added a little bit of a foundation to the home at the bottom because it just felt a little weird getting plastered straight into the ground. Plenty of houses do that, but for some reason, this one just really got to me, so I ended up putting that small foundation on it, and I really feel like it made it elevated just a bit. And definitely more like how I envisioned it should look. So it doesn't really look like that in the photo, and there's, like I said, definitely plenty of houses that don't have that, but I just wanted to add it here because I really felt like it gave it just a little bit of extra. This porch is a little bit funkalicious as well because the stairs are pressed so far back, but again, I had to do that for the sake of getting the stairs pushed into the right area. And also I didn't want to push back the inside of the home too far and have too much on the outside. And again, these columns, so similarly to what I said for the apartments, obviously this is just a build so far and none of it's been play tested, but I do plan to maybe create the Sims that would live here, move them in, and make sure they can get into the homes. Obviously, this is going to have to be a rental situation. They're not going to treat it like a true owned townhouse with like 4 Sims on it. But at the same time, it'll be fun just to kind of, I guess, do another rental situation. But anyway, they won't have shared amenities or anything. So if you're going to play with the Sims in here, it might be a little difficult because it's not like I have an electrical room or the water heaters or anything like that, at least right now. Maybe when I do the inside of these, maybe in the basement portion, I might build something out. I haven't decided yet, but if it is going to be a rental property, it probably makes the most sense. We'll see when we get there. For now, it's just the shells of these homes, as you can see. So I'll let you watch the orange house build, and then we will move on to our last townhome. And now we're moving on to our fourth and final house, which causes havoc on all of the other ones. This is where I said I probably should have waited to build the backyards, but impatience is key, and that's just my motto. So I wanted to have this double staircase look for both sides. Now, obviously, you cannot build to the edge of these freaking lots, which creates a huge problem because I needed just enough room because you also can't put the stairs on the edge of the lot, and I ran out of room to do this. So, as you can see, I finally managed to get it in there, and then all of this is messed up. So I just get rid of all of it and I decide I will figure it out later. And then I remembered that I didn't actually put any walls in the orange house. So I do go back and do that and adjust for the stairs inside the home as well. So it's kind of like I fix the stairs, realize I didn't complete the second one or the third one. And then I go back in here and start figuring out how I want to organize these stairs. So anyway, but I do eventually figure it out because what I end up doing after further outside decor that causes additional havoc on the progress of the build is I don't have to put the stairs like straight out. Even though the other houses have them straight out and they don't have any bends or anything, this house is unique because the width of where the Sims would have to go spans the entire width of the home, and it's just a little bit wider than visually, as well as when I try to construct the little front porch situation, just a little bit wider than the others. So what I do is I end up taking these staircases and flipping them around so that when you if the Sim walks forward, they can go left or right and be next to a staircase to walk up. What I'm building right now is completely, essentially obliterated after that because it didn't make sense with what I was putting together once the staircases were flipped around. I did make the house pink because I love pink, it's my favorite color, and therefore there had to be a pink build in here. I was hoping for green, but they didn't really have a green that agreed with me, and everything else felt really dark, and I just really felt like the other homes just needed something pink beside them. And then I also kind of wanted, so all the other ones have like this downstairs bedroom in them, which is wonderful, but I also kind of wanted to build this a little bit different since I had the extra real estate here, and I make two separate bedrooms down here with a what we call a Jack and Jill bathroom, where you can access it from both of the rooms. Anyway, I think it turned out good. You'll see the process just a little bit once I figure out the stairs, and then I also add a ground level little porch thing that I do intend to build out a little bit more and provide another hangout space. I know the Sims just kind of hang out and do whatever they want, but just in case they wanted to explore a ground level option, it will be there. And then I do end up putting the back fences up. Now, the only windows in the home for the most part are going to be on this front side because I just don't know how the inside is going to flow just yet. So similar to how we did the yellow home first, just to get a feel for things, I also intend to do the same thing for the windows and of course the inside of the home, because once I get a feel for one of them and I have an idea of how it works best, and then I can see how the rooms are segmented pretty much throughout all of them, that'll make it a little bit easier to figure out where they need to go, what looks best, etc. They're also super close to each other, so I feel like it would be really insensitive to have like a window side to side, which has its own its own challenges, right? Because you want to have as much natural light in the home as possible, especially when you're in a beach situation. However, if you're right on top of each other, which is my one complaint about townhomes, you don't usually have light coming from the sides because it's almost like a shotgun house. It goes straight front to back, and there's not a whole lot going on the sides. So I haven't decided if I'm going to put anything there yet. Typically, I would have these combined, but if you combine them, they turn into one big home, and I do not want that. But maybe we'll change that now that they're all built out, but then again, maybe we won't because I am not redoing those patios. Future Kirsten, don't worry about it. Anyway, We build out the inside of this, I structure the outside a little bit better, and then we see all of them lined up together at the very end, so enjoy this last part of the actual build. And that's it, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this first part of the build for these townhouses. I think they look really cute together, and I love that they've got that downstairs porch situation going on. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and in our next part, we will go ahead and start building the inside of each one. Each house might be its own episode because they are so large, so there probably will be a total of 4 parts to this, but we'll see where we go from here. Anyway, love so much that you hopefully enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next part of this build.